Hey, Nick.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, man. How are you?
I'm good. I'm really good.
Excellent. We've had a few false starts tonight. It's been a fun one.
We've had some troubleshooting, but we're all good.
Yeah,
We're ready to
technical
go.
difficulties. This is the nature of the game.
That's right.
We are off.
We don't have roadies yet.
No,
we will have
one
them
day,
eventually.
One day.
Sure.
We're in a different room tonight as well.
We are in a different room.
It's lovely. We're in the study tonight.
We are.
So I feel very sophisticated.
In Nicholas's study in front of Sam's massive bookshelf.
A bookshelf.
Nick's wedding tree.
And a giant indoor wedding tree.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It's lovely,
It
isn't
really
it?
sets the mood,
Yeah.
I think, more than anything else. Hey, so welcome to Nic, Tys and Videotape for another week.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us on our discussion of Dirty Dancing today.
Yeah.
We cannot wait to get stuck into this one. But first of all, why don't we do some housekeeping?
Some housekeeping.
Yeah, so you can find us on Facebook.
You can find us on iTunes.
On iTunes. You can like and subscribe and rate and review us on iTunes. That'd be amazing. We've had some really nice reviews so far.
We have.
So let's keep them coming, people.
You can. You can find us on Facebook. You can actually rate us on Facebook as well.
Yeah, do
that.
Rate and write a review
us on Facebook as well.
Write a nice one. Don't be dicks about it.
You don't have to. Yeah, but the thing is with Facebook, iTunes, if you write a review, you can just make up.
We
the
know
name.
who it is.
Exactly. Facebook will know who you are.
We'll make your life a living hell.
No, we won't. We will up you, and we will tell. We will.
Oh, if you write a nice review, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're a dick about it.
Oh well, we're gonna
have ways.
You can find us on Twitter. You can follow us on Twitter.
You can
at Nic, Tys, Videotape.
The Twitter machine's going a bit nuts for us. It's great.
It is.
We're
it's
getting
lovely,
heaps,
isn't it?
heaps of tweets. I love it.
Go the tweets. But yeah, iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio.
TuneIn Radio, all the places you listen to your podcast, you can find us. We just very recently, you can now, if listening on podcast apps and things aren't your groove,
that's true.
You can now listen to us on YouTube. If I know some people like to just stream podcasts through YouTube.
That's true.
So you can now do that. We're in the process of uploading all our previous episodes. We've got one up at the moment.
Which one is that?
The first one.
Awesome.
So we're in the process. We're getting there.
We're getting there, people.
But yeah, if you know that one person that doesn't like listening on apps and they're like, oh, I'm a YouTube kind of guy, and you were waiting.
Yep, my brother.
Yeah, there you go. Now, bang, get them on it.
Exactly.
Because we're ready to go. All of the rest of them will be up within the week or so.
Or just share everything.
Share everything around. Every share helps us out a bunch. We really appreciate the people that are active on social media, kind of getting involved. 100%. Liking posts, commenting on posts, sending us emails, tweeting at us. It's really awesome. We love every second of it.
Thanks heaps.
Let's get on with things, man.
Let's start the show.
Let's Talkin Trailers. I've forgotten how it goes again.
It was everybody's
That's it. Everybody's Talkin Trailers. Perfect. I love it. I love it so much. It's so good.
That's terrible.
Hey man, what'd you see this week?
Trailers. Okay. I only watched one actually. I was too busy watching movies, hilariously enough.
No, that's fine.
Watch trailers. I watched the Baby Driver trailer.
Oh, good. I'm glad you talked about that one because I was maybe going to talk about that one.
How good? Well, this is different for us, Tys, because like I was saying last episode, we hear about an Edgar Wright film, Tys, and we want to see it. Tell me you don't want to see this movie. Even if but would it change your mind if it wasn't Edgar Wright, Tys?
Possibly.
It would. See, there you go. So yeah, the trailer is awesome. It's about a kid who had something happen to him while he was younger, which makes him drive really awesome.
No, I think the thing that happened to him when he was younger is his hearing.
Oh, okay. So he plays music.
He plays music, and for some reason he's turned that into a driving skill, because he can focus, he can zone out everything else and focus on what's in front of him. I think
it's it was very.
It'd be cool if that'd be great if it's like, I banged my head, now I can drive like crazy.
That would be insane. Imagine. Look, I'm not gonna. It may still happen.
It could.
It's an Edgar Wright movie, but so watching this trailer, it seems to me like he's got this skill and he uses it for bad instead of good. Well, I guess he doesn't really. It's not really said in the trailer what he uses it for, but he works for a mob boss who is Kevin Spacey, and
stacked it on Kevin Spacey too. He's looking. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's looking rotund.
He's looking aged. He's aged. Yeah, but
remember that scene in American Beauty where he works out in the mirror?
Yeah,
and you're like, Kevin Spacey, man, you look after yourself for. And now it's like...
And he's like, no. Dude, I do House of Cards. I don't have to do shit.
Yeah.
Exactly. But stellar cast. Oh, my God. Kevin Spacey, Lily James, John Hamm, Jamie Foxx. Amazing.
Huge cast.
Huge. Cast. I'm forgetting people, but that's not the point.
It
looks actiony. It looks fun.
It does.
You know what it looks like?
So
It looks
much
like it reminded me of Kingsman. Kingsman on wheels. That's what this looks like.
Sure. Yeah.
A bit of fun, a bit of action, some serious parts.
Has had a lot of kind of that Edgar Wright energy to it.
Yeah.
I would say that's probably not the worst comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it looks like
there could be anybody in this movie, and I'd be excited to see it. I knew.
Yeah, see, that's the thing.
I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Like in the back of my mind, it was like, oh yeah, Edgar Wright's got a new movie. But you watch a trailer like that, and it's kind of like the energy's really fun. It's got a great vibe, and the gags, I'm laughing at gags like the Mike Myers
when they
mask gag.
So they're robbing a bank, and they put on Mike Myers instead of Michael Myers masks, and the guy's like, no, I wanted
Mike Myers, the scary one.
The scary one. Oh, Jason.
Oh, you mean Jason? No.
No. Gold.
Exactly. Yeah, it was really
lands
funny.
and it's awesome. Yeah, it's gold. It's gold.
Yeah, I'm pumped. I think it's
so. Yeah, it looks good. Written and directed by Edgar Wright. In theaters in around August, obviously. Their summer, our winter, our midwinter.
It is indeed. Yeah, I'm pumped. Man. Good choice.
Yeah, man. Baby Driver. What did you Talkin Trailers?
Well, my Talkin Trailers.
What did you talk?
Did you see the trailer?
I got nothing. Go.
Did you see the trailer for Atomic Blonde?
Oh no, I didn't.
All right, it looks awesome.
I saw the poster, which looks badass.
Yeah, so this is like a kind of John Wick-ish looking action movie starring Charlize Theron, who is like fucking kicking ass in this movie, man. She is like taking names.
Amazing.
Really great little one take fight scene in the trailer with her, and it looks really scrappy. Like it looks like it's not like showy Corey kind of fighting. It looks like down and dirty scrapping. Nice. I think I don't know much about the plot because they didn't give a whole heap away.
Yep.
She appears to be some kind of covert agent.
Okay. A little bit of. Is it not as slick as Salt? Remember Salt?
No, it's not that kind of gear. It's more mysterious.
Okay.
And it is directed by one of the John Wick directors as well, which is obviously where the flavor kind of comes from.
Right.
It is David Leitch, I believe, or whatever you say his name.
Yep.
Who is about to go on and helm Deadpool 2. So this is a good kind of middle ground for him.
Let's have a look what he does.
He did actually direct that short, the Deadpool short. Yeah, that popped up before Logan.
Not a lot of action, but
yeah, like it was fine.
It
was fine, but he seemed to have a good kind of handle of the sight gags. Like the sight, he had a nice vibe going on there. But this looks incredible. Charlize Theron rocking like a short kind of bob blonde wig.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
really like
awesome.
Obviously can hold herself in the fight scenes. I think it's kind of got a bit of a sense of humor in it. It looks great. It
looks fun,
and it came out of nowhere. I had no idea this movie existed. So
That's
I do enjoy it when that happens because a lot of these movies.
Exactly.
We can't know about everything. I'm sure I'd seen the title in my readings of things, but now that the trailer's popped up and it's right up there on my to-see list, I'm pumped for it, man. It looks great.
Cinema viewing, you reckon?
Oh, look, who knows?
So there you go.
Trailer,
Talkin Trailers.
Everyone's talking trailers.
Everybody's talking
trailers. That was fun. Hey, man, we're going to move on to what did we watch this week?
Yeah. Well, this is going to be a little big for me.
Yeah, this might be a long segment.
Yeah. Let's All right. Do you want to start?
Well, do you want to go one for one?
Oh yeah, do that.
Let's go one for one. All right, I'll start us off. I went and saw
Go for it.
Kong Skull Island.
Oh shit!
Yeah, saw that last week.
Oh, Tys.
It's interesting. It's an interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think it's
interesting.
It is. It's very interesting. I don't think it's incredibly successful.
Okay.
I think it gets a lot of things wrong.
Okay.
Just as a movie. Like it's hard to talk about without spoiling the thing.
Yeah,
but,
fair deal.
I'll talk the positives first. The Kong is great. Like the actual creature, the design, the special effects. It's incredible.
Looks awesome.
It looks awesome.
Okay.
There is also some really, really clever visual elements to it. This is obviously a very visual director. He has he is trying to do things a little bit differently, and it creates some very striking imagery. Unfortunately, though, that kind of to flip side it, I think because he is such a visual director that
there's barely any
there's
script.
nothing else going on. It is full of completely empty characterizations.
Right.
The only one who Samuel L. Jackson is trying to do something. I don't think he's entirely successful.
Okay.
John C. Reilly maybe a little bit more successful, but he's got the easier part to play because it's kind of the funny one.
Yeah.
So he just does his
wild card sort of
he
thing.
just does his I've been stuck on this island for 50 years craziness.
Yeah.
And it gets a laugh.
Okay.
But then from everyone else, like Tom Hiddleston and Brie Larson are pretty awful, really.
Right.
They've just got nothing to work with.
Right.
John Goodman is not in it really enough to make an impact. He kind of initially does, but he doesn't make a lasting impression. They waste people like Toby Kebbell, who I'm a big fan of.
Yep.
And there is some of the most awful dialogue I've heard in a really long time coming out of this movie.
Right.
But that's not even really the main problem because you don't go into these movies...
Oh, you're not expecting Shakespeare.
Yeah, you can kind of get away with it. You can say, look, as long as I'm having a really good time,
exactly,
I think I can get away with this. But it was like this guy, this director, it's like he doesn't know the standard cinematic language.
Okay.
And so you'll be watching it and things will just feel wrong.
Okay.
Like the way he's chosen to frame a shot just will make us feel strange because it's like
where he's put the camera
or how he's decided to frame just a simple conversation between two characters, or the way he is trying to achieve a dramatic beat, for instance. He misses all that kind of stuff, and so it's really strange because to me it's kind of like watching it, I felt like I was watching a really, really expensive experiment. Like somebody that was just like,
oh, that's not
I'm
good.
going to give this a bash.
Yeah.
Couldn't quite nail the small kind of things that everyone else gets right. But did some pretty crazy things with some of the over-the-top stuff.
Right.
That very memorable moments. Like there are some moments that you could take a photo of and hang on your wall. They look stunning, some of it.
Right.
Yeah, dramatic beats out the window. Like the timing, when sometimes you want things to breathe, sometimes you want things to move. Sometimes you need like a sense of pace. Sometimes you need to help build tension. So you'll snap from things to things. There's just nothing achieved in any of that. There's no tension where there should be tension. There's no emotional connection where there should be an emotional connection. There's no character connection based on anything. So it's a really strange movie.
So are you feeling then? Maybe they've cut some things out. Is this aimed... after you finish the movie, is this movie aimed for maybe a younger audience? Is this... Because it is King Kong, and Peter Jackson's King Kong was kind of... It wasn't aimed at a young audience, but, kids can see King Kong. They kind of, want to see King Kong.
I don't think that's the case because there is such a strong attempt at... like allegory in it.
Okay.
They're really trying to do this whole commentary on war thing through it.
Oh, right.
Like the setting it through Vietnam is not accidental at all.
Right.
They're using it to try and say these big kind of sweeping things about what war does to people. And it doesn't land.
You see those things in the trailer that they have come and just bombed the island, and there is a war element, a strong war element to the film that I got in the trailer even.
Yeah, well,
Is that true?
They're obviously it's not just because it's set during the Vietnam War. So you get to have those elements kind of come out of it.
Oh, okay.
It's more about the effects of war itself, I think, because where these soldiers are towards the end of the war. So I think they know they're going home before they get sent on this mission, and based on how a lot of them react to that situation, because they now, knowing what we know about the Vietnam War towards, the American soldiers kind of felt like they were, they didn't know how to win this war. They didn't have an enemy.
Was there an ending
that they could see? They couldn't see a victory. So sending these guys to this island where there's a tangible villain for them brings out certain things in different characters, and so they're clearly trying to say something about what the Vietnam War did to these soldiers. So then kids aren't going to get any of that. You know what I mean? Like it's going to fly completely over their heads. So, and they're just going to love the beat 'em ups with the monkey because look, they're pretty fucking great. Like some of them really just were incredibly good. Yeah. But it doesn't create a coherent whole, unfortunately. Okay. So it was a bit of a letdown. Like I came away at the end just kind of being like, wow, that happened, and I'm never going to worry about thinking about that again. No, like I just don't think I'd ever really want to watch that again.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So there you go. Look, I don't want to poo-poo it too much because I think some people will quite enjoy it.
Oh, it looks like
fun.
And
I think if you could. I think I went in with the wrong frame of mind because I really liked the trailers.
Oh, really?
And I felt like they were, because I'm a huge Vietnam War movie fan. Like a great deal of my favorite films kind of revolve around the Vietnam War. I don't know why I'm attracted to it as a storytelling device. Yep. I think you can explore a lot about people based on
there's a lot that
their
happened
reaction
before
to war.
It, after it. There's a lot. During,
Like, and I think it's anyway. It's different from other wars in its kind of tragedy of it.
You were hooked on the trailers.
So I was hooked on the trailers because I thought, well, this could be a really cool opportunity to kind of explore both things. And it's like they tried, but they bombed out really hard just because they didn't go all in with it. They were like, oh, we'll do this and it'll be a Vietnam allegory. We'll do this and it'll be a metaphor for obsession, and we'll do this. And it's kind of like, nah, you didn't sell any of that because you didn't pay any of it off. Yeah. Yeah,
you got to set it up. You
kind of went, oh, well, this is what it's going to be. But then you also have these, slow-mo, overcranked scenes of Tom Hiddleston in a gas mask cutting beasts with a samurai sword. And I shit you not, that is a scene in this movie. He has to wear a gas mask. He has a samurai sword, and he in slow-mo chops up.
Are you serious?
Monsters.
Are we just making
That's
a little bit too on the nose.
Well, because it's just like too on the nose, it is the epitome. And look, I had a giggle because I was like, well, that was pretty fucking cool. But it's cool. It's 6-year-old cool for the sake of being cool. Yeah. Like those things should not go together. But for some reason, there he was, jacked up Tom Hiddleston, who's looking really fit, man. By the way, with a samurai sword and a gas mask, chopping up monsters. I'm like, what are we doing? All right, nice. Yeah. Anyway, so that was one of mine. Fuck, we're going to be here a while.
We are going to be here a while.
What do you got, man?
I finally saw Logan.
Nice.
Oh my God. This was intense. I wasn't expecting this. Like, I was expecting something, but I wasn't expecting this. It was just it was just so good. The feel of it, it was just awesome. James Mangold, dude, and it was such a beautiful goodbye to Wolverine. I don't know what to talk about because I don't want to wreck it for people. And I don't want to boost it up too much as well because
boost it, man.
But this happens to me. You get boosted, and then all of a sudden, someone goes, "Yeah, fucking see it. It's amazing." You watch it, and you're like, "What the fuck was that?"
I don't know, man. I feel like this would stand up to any kind of expectations you would have.
It really did.
It's only gotten better the further away from it I've gotten.
Away. It's and a couple of days after, I guess this rarely happens to me, but a couple of days after, I was like, you know what? I want to see Logan again. I want to see that again. Oh, it was just so good. This is a beautiful. I feel that this isn't a superhero movie. I feel that the superhero aspect of this film takes a backseat to these characters. And the best part about this, I guess, is the fact that we've known these characters for so long.
Yes.
It digs so deep and straight off the bat too. Like the fact that I'm gonna say a little bit. The fact that Wolverine is a limo driver and chauffeurs people around to get money to go on a boat. Like no money.
Oh, I love the concept of the boat.
Like, do you know what I mean?
Beautiful.
Like, it's such a... He wants to get away. He's done. And you can tell that he's done straight off the bat.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I was feeling throughout this movie, I was waiting him for literally just to kill over. I'm like, even though, he's got the healing factor, all of that stuff, lived throughout how many decades, but he sells it well. You feel Hugh Jackman just being utterly fucking tired in this movie.
Yeah.
So good. Stephen Merchant, for me, out of nowhere. What the fuck?
Oh, he was really great.
How great was that?
Yeah, he was really cool.
Like, I don't really see Stephen Merchant as an actor. I see him more of as a writer, but...
Sure.
Geez,
And as, like, Ricky Gervais's funny guy
friend.
that he hangs out with.
Yeah.
More than anything.
Exactly. Like, he came out with a gold. He sold it well. Like, and then Patrick Stewart just giving...
I think it's my favourite Patrick Stewart.
Oh.
It's my favourite, Professor Xavier performance.
It really
easily.
is. It really is. And it's so good.
We'll talk about it non-spoiler one time because
we will.
There are certain things I want to get into about it, but I reckon, on the whole, like...
I would love to watch it again. It looks amazing.
Oh, and this is the thing, like,
just see it.
It's been a week and I'm geared up for that to come out on DVD or something.
I know, right?
I'm keen to watch it again.
Yeah, like I said, I want to see it again now. I was like, you know what? I'm going to ring Tys, see what Tys is doing. We'll go see fucking Logan again.
Yeah, man, I'd see it again.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's how good it was. Like, and that's rare. It's very rare
It's
nowadays that I want to see it again at the cinema.
Yeah.
Because I do that a lot. I think the last one was Civil War. I saw 4 times.
4 times?
At the cinema, yeah.
I've never done 4.
Yeah.
That's intense.
Well, there was a reason why. So I did it with my wife. I did it with friends, and then I did it with family, and then I did it with my brother. Like,
sure.
Yeah, there was reasons.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
But Logan. It was awesome.
Yeah,
it was intense.
It's like I said, it's gotten better as I've stepped away from it.
And you know what it was? It was really fucking bloody. And that's what I loved. It is a man with knives coming out of his fucking hands, and it was intense.
It was real bloody, wasn't it?
It was just straight off the bat. Straight off the bat.
Limbs just gone.
Yeah.
I think my favourite one is without giving it away,
go on.
but the one, like, there's quite a few, like, expendable... nobodies in this movie, like just thugs that get fucking murdered.
Yeah, but you're the one that sticks in your head.
The one that sticks in my head.
There's a few.
He gets the Wolverine claws through the back of his head, and they come out through his cheek and like eyeball.
Oh, okay.
Like so forward.
Yeah.
Looked
I have to say mine now. Mine was the one where he stuck it through his chin, but it was at a way because his fist was. So if you were to face your palm towards your throat, you understand what I'm talking about. Makes the claws come out, but you see the claws come through his face, not his head, his face. I was like, this is not a kids' movie in any
not even a
way, shape, or form.
Not even a little bit.
So yeah. Logan.
No, good one, man. Good one. Yeah, well, I can't wait till we actually have a nice big spoilerific chat about that one.
Spoilerific. Write that down, people.
All right. Well, I'll just do one more.
I've got so many more.
Do you want to do another one? We'll just kind of.
All right. I'll do a quick one. So I watched. You know what? I'm gonna skip that. I'm gonna go. I watched Wild Things.
Nah.
So Sam had never seen Wild Things. 1998.
Holy shit,
I
man.
finished Wild Things. So back in the day, was I 16? 1998. No, year 11 because I
16,
graduated
17, turning 17.
So, yeah. Look, it doesn't stand up, Tys. I'm not going to lie to you.
What a bummer.
Because it back in the day, I felt like it was kind of nice because you didn't really know where it was going. The story kind of crossed. It had a lot of reveals, a lot of switches.
They were being pretty twisty and turny.
Yeah, a lot, and that
lots of double crosses and things. It's a very much a like. I feel like
Denise Richards.
I just don't think that film exists anymore. The sexy thriller.
So
it doesn't hold up
Kevin
at
Bacon, Matt Dillon, Neve Campbell kind of drops the ball a bit. I think she's trying to.
It's such a bad casting choice for that. Campbell. I think for Neve Campbell, who's come off being, who really
Party of Five,
who mastered kind of the girl next door thing. She does it really well. Yeah. And this it reeks of that kind of attempt to be like edgy and sexy.
Exactly. Do you know what if you were to put Neve Campbell in my head Do you know what first thing that comes up? Because of all the fucking Scream movies,
Yeah.
she cannot run. She can't run.
Oh, I've never noticed.
Watch one or two Screams. She's the worst runner. Run! God damn it,
I
run,
love
will
an
you?
awkward runner.
I don't.
Like awkward running actors
No.
are really quite fun.
I love a runner who can... I love an actor who can leg it, man.
Like Tom
fucking
Cruise.
bolt. Tom Cruise, exactly.
I love that he found that he was good at running. And so they put it in everything.
I'm going to be
Because
running.
it's just like, hey, you know what? I'm actually really good at this. I make it look good.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he does, man. There's that scene in Mission Impossible 3.
3. He legs it.
He looks...
And you can tell.
he looks like
Yeah.
great doing it.
Yeah,
he looks
exactly.
like... He doesn't look like one of those weird... Like if I was doing it.
But
and it
even
looks like-
Mission Impossible 1, where he's coming over the bridge, you're like,
Oh,
Jesus,
yeah,
he
yeah.
is legging it. What the... Yeah. So, yeah, that was my wild things.
And what an experience.
I wanted to mention it only because, 1996, man.
98? 96.
No, 96.
96.
No, was it 96?
So
Sorry.
younger.
Hang on, wait. I have to get it right. No, it was 98. It was 98.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's all right.
I dare my audience to watch it again. Go on, one for you. And then I've got one more.
All right, I'll talk about this really quick. I watched after your recommendation, I believe. I think you might have Crossing the Stream recommendation. I went back and revisited Swingers.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. And
Cross the Streams last week.
yeah, it was really good.
How good is Swingers?
It was really great. I was a little worried that I was like, oh God, I hope this still holds up.
It
and
holds.
It's lovely, really, really great.
Totally.
And it was funny because I was in my head, I couldn't help but compare it to a couple of probably a bit earlier on, maybe about a month ago. We were talking about Chasing Amy.
Oh yeah,
that
that's
I
right.
had revisited Chasing Amy,
That's
and
right.
I'm not sure if they're the same year.
See, that's the thing,
but-
Tys. You think that you look that up. You think you're going to waste. You tell our listeners, no, don't. Life is short. Don't waste your time. You're watching Swingers and Chasing Amy. Watch Wild Things, people. I dare you.
Don't think that's it quite in this. No, you're right. We should always,
Remember where we came
That's
from.
it. Remember.
What is that
Remember where
director?
you came
What
from.
is that director
So Swingers
doing
is
now?
actually 96. So Swingers is pre-Chasing Amy.
Oh, right.
And what I find amazing about it is that it is still incredibly relevant today.
It was good.
What it says about male friendships,
Yeah.
what it says about masculinity in general, what it says about relationships and overcoming breakups which was the 90s.
It's a thing.
It's when you think about the 90s now, they're such a simpler time compared to now. But
where are the breakup movies now?
But this is the thing, like the kind of the things that people are dealing with now in breakups are so much more intense and full on than it was in the 90s. In the 90s, you could just
break up with someone and not fucking call
and that's
them,
it.
and that's it.
You're done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now
like,
you've got the same Facebook friends.
You can
have
just
to
that's it. You
delete
just
them from
remove their
everything.
phone. You just rip up that piece of paper that has their phone number on it,
gone,
and they are out of your life.
Exactly.
But it's amazing that what the things they say about ending a relationship in 1996 is still relevant today.
Yeah.
Just the way they talk about the recovery of, how it feels, how you kind of feel like you've lost a piece of yourself, but how to move on. And, I also think it's funny because I think it holds up better than something like Chasing Amy, because Chasing Amy was incredibly sincere in what it was presenting, but now just seems kind of lame. Like I'd mentioned that everyone just seems like a bit of a dick now, and you're kind of like, oh, that's not cool anymore.
Yeah.
Like none of that's cool.
Yeah.
Whereas with this, none of it is cool anymore. Like you wouldn't dress that way. You don't we don't go to bars anymore to listen to swing music. Like,
but it would be cool. Swing music is still cool.
Look, but what I find interesting about it is that Jon Favreau is presenting it in almost a self-aware way, because he's like Vince Vaughn's character and the character Sue, for instance, and this little group of friends, they don't really find success in this film. When in 1996, I thought they were the coolest motherfuckers ever.
Yeah.
But now it's clear that they're not. They're dealing with a lot of problems. They're putting up a front.
Yeah.
But what I find interesting now is that I think Jon Favreau understood that even then.
Yeah.
That this is a front for these people, because the smartest and most well-rounded character is the character played by Ron Livingston, who is actually not from LA. He's from New York.
Yeah.
And so for Jon Favreau to make him the character that is the most switched in and tuned into the reality means that he's aware that these guys are that this is self-aware, which something like Chasing Amy isn't.
Yeah.
It's not self-aware of that stuff.
Yeah,
It's being really sincere, thinking it treats Holden like he is this, incredibly be-all, end-all for ladies' man.
Yeah.
And it treats like Joey Lauren Adams as this
The bit like
the pinnacle of what
women,
you want as a girlfriend.
Yeah.
And they're just not anymore. Whereas
Yeah.
these guys, you can see through that underneath this kind of facade that they put on, they are genuinely good guys who are struggling to find their identity in LA.
Yeah.
Which, it's early. Like, that's early kind of reflection for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's still funny as hell at the same time, which is amazing. Like, it still made me laugh a lot. Vince Vaughn, it's the best Vince Vaughn acting he's ever done. It's his best
Vince
character.
Vaughn.
He's
Love Vince Vaughn.
he's so good in it. Trent, he's great.
I want to watch Maid again.
Maid, I watched
remember-
once and was fine with it.
Yeah,
but
it wasn't Swingers. I
No.
remember it not being Swingers, but it was
I've
good
never
to watch
gone back to
Maid.
watch it again.
No. I'd watch it again.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Hey man, what's your next one?
I'm going to do one more.
Yeah, let's and then
And then I'm
we
gonna
got to
wrap
get
up.
onto our
Yeah.
main one.
I watched Tyson. I watched Green Room.
Yes, you did. Yes.
I watched Green Room finally.
Fuck yes.
Fuck me.
How good is it, man?
That was awesome.
Yeah.
So I had a bit of a Patrick Stewart week.
Yeah, good.
My God, Green Room.
Something that not enough people have, me included, is a week of just watching Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, Green Room. It was exactly what you said. Like the fact that it was, for starters, it was short. It got to the fucking point.
It's in and out.
There
man.
was no beating around the bush. You got the point of the characters. I loved it really set the scene well for just indie musos, playing living gig to gig sort of thing.
Yeah, look, I don't know that world because
neither do I. But it painted the
felt like
picture
a very
really
real,
well.
Yeah, real,
really well. The fact that they literally just jump in the van and where's the next
with
gig?
the half idea of a gig lined up that might or might not happen.
pay off.
And I love that they end up playing in like what looks like a fucking bakery or something.
Yeah, it's just a diner.
Yeah,
it is literally a diner. There are people walking by. Yeah, but yeah, such a good and just they get to the next gig. They get in the green room. They play the gig that is clearly at a white supremacist.
Oh
rally.
yeah, I don't think there's
like
any.
It's just
there's no questioning.
There's no question.
Yeah.
Like
But even for them, they know
they
where
know
they
that.
are.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, and then once the gig is finished, they get to wrap up and things go really belly up for them. And then I love that. I didn't realize how much happens in this green room.
Yeah, they spend a good chunk in there.
But yeah, it's
good.
a nice chunk. But jeez, it was good. It was really good.
It's good. It's it sticks to the Siege movie rules, but really kind of fucks with them at the same time.
Exactly.
Like it gave the location so much character as well. Like that.
It really
bar,
did. You
that
felt
club.
Yeah.
Was so like lived in as an area. Like I don't know where they found it, but fuck, what a great
It looked
location.
like a bar. Yeah, it did look like a bar that's been there for billions of years.
Yeah.
But jeez, it was good and violent.
So
The scene didn't because I think because I was expecting it.
Didn't? Okay.
It didn't have the gut reaction that you did. I was just like, whoa, okay, that's whoa, okay, we're doing that. Jesus, I think the I'm not gonna ruin it. I'm gonna say the door scene. I think freaked me out a hell of a lot. Fucking
the aftermath of the door.
Of the door.
Well, I think that because that's all part of the same kind of altercation.
Just
I think because that happened and I was
brutal.
watching and I saw the aftermath of that and I was like, I think I might have gone pale,
Jesus.
which then led to the next one, which
it's just
which
ooh.
did me in. I watched it a second time. I don't know if since we've talked about it. I think maybe... No, I had watched it twice since we talked about it.
Yeah.
I'd already watched it twice.
Jesus.
But even the second time, it had the same effect on me.
It had the same effect.
Yeah.
It was good. If anyone wants to watch a new movie, they're looking for something, they feel like they've watched anything, all the TV series that you are watching are boring,
It's
Green
on...
Green Room.
Stan now. Yeah, I saw it pop up. So
please watch it.
You can watch it for free if you've got Stan. Like, there's no excuse.
You got no excuse.
If you like horror movies at all, you should be on it. But also, Patrick Stewart gives one of the great performances, one of the great evil performances.
Yeah. And the last movie for Anton Yelchin.
Anton Yelchin no longer with us, so you can see he does some killer work.
He does it great.
One of those guys that I maybe didn't have the name of some of these other guys. But
still not the point.
He never did a bad job.
So
never did a bad role. That guy.
Good.
He was always really solid.
So good.
All right, man. Welcome to our feature presentation.
Took us a while, but we're here.
We're here. Well, we saw a lot. We had a lot to talk about, and we might not have much to talk about with this one. So
we'll be fine.
Anyway, we're looking at Dirty Dancing.
Dirty Dancing.
1987's Dirty Dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is an interesting film. Nic, you've already mentioned that this is a bit of a favourite of yours.
It is.
Do you want to tell me?
Go on.
Where did that come from? Where did that start? What is your relationship with this movie?
Okay, so I actually watched this probably a bit too young. Well, not really. It's not raunchy in any way. Well, this is the thing. It's called Dirty Dancing, so of course it's going to be a little bit dirty. But
it's uncomfortable, man.
What? No, it's not.
Some of it is dancing. I'm just like,
it's amazing.
I just want to take a shower. But also gross and sweaty, and
Tys.
I'm like, that would smell so bad
You're
in that
so
room.
vanilla. Are you serious? It smells so bad in the room. What are you talking about?
In that room.
You're an idiot. The doors are
they're
open.
also sweaty and
it's awesome.
crotch rubbing.
What the hell? You're painting this with a really bad brush. No, you're an idiot. So I watched this when I think I was 8. And I remember, I think it was my auntie or someone put it on. Obviously, when this movie came out, this was the biggest movie of this year. What was the year?
87.
87.
I didn't check the box office. Yeah, really?
Biggest of this year.
Wow.
Because Time of My Life was number 1 for ages. And the
It's
album,
a great song. Like, it's a killer song.
But yeah, so I watched it, and
So how long had it been since you'd seen it?
It had been a while. I'm pretty sure.
I'd seen it once before.
Once
really?
Only?
Yeah. I came to this very late.
Okay. And how old were you when you watched it for the first time?
Probably, I would say, early 20s.
Okay. So because I will say that a movie like this, you need to watch it in a certain time frame of your life. Because if you were to watch this now as a 35-year-old, I don't know whether it would stand up. It might stand up. I think it would. But you're not going to get the sense of... There is a real sense of this movie that, it's the summer of love that everyone wanted. The summer that you never wanted to end.
Yes.
It was amazing. Go on.
I'm not sure that exists anymore either, though. The idea of that. So I think... Is this movie kind of...
No, I think they still do.
A time capsule now that maybe...
Well, that's the thing.
Because I get what you're saying. I think if I was 15, 16, I think I would enjoy this movie a whole lot more.
Yeah, exactly.
I still think I would have been kept at a distance because I think it's geared more towards teenage girls, and I don't like... I think that there would be an extra level of that. If I was a teenage girl, I think I would find a bit more to connect to because there isn't really a surrogate for a teenage boy in this film.
That's where I'm going to question you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
It was totally for me.
Yeah,
I wanted to be watching this. I've watched this movie over 30 times.
Wow.
I have seen this movie a lot. I know the dance moves. I know the dance.
Sure.
I know the soundtrack backwards. I have watched this movie so much. Growing up, I wanted to be Johnny Castle. I thought to myself, when I was, painting the picture really well, Tys, the smelly room that you didn't want, that scene, which is one of the best, I'm jumping forward a little bit, but we'll come back.
It's okay.
The scene where the cousin he's holding 2 watermelons.
Yep, the watermelons.
Busts open the door with his butt into a room of dancing and just people having the most sexiest, awesome time ever.
Yep.
For my 21st, I turned to my then girlfriend at the time and said, I want this to be my 21st.
Okay.
And I wanted the room, I wanted the watermelons, I wanted the drink, I wanted people to dance like this.
Sure.
And she let me go with it for about 2 weeks, and then said, Nick, I love you, but you do know that they're not going to dance like that. You can put on the music, but people aren't going to dance like that, Nick. They're not going to, which saddened me. But yeah,
sure.
But yeah, I wanted to be, as a teenage boy, Tys, I wanted to be Johnny Castle.
Okay.
I wanted to be that cool guy. I thought that if I learnt how to dance, it would be, because I'm not rich. I'm not going to be able to buy a decent car. I'm not extremely athletic to the point where, well, we don't really have that here. It's not as if, we have the star quarterback that Americans do, that the girls are kind of attracted to. I don't know whether
but there is
thing.
there's definitely a jock.
Do you know what we had?
An Australian jock.
We had
kind
the
of mentality.
skaters. If you skated well, if you're a badass skater, hey, you got a girl.
Okay.
Sort of thing.
Yeah, I guess we did.
So yeah, in my head, I was like, you know what? If I can fucking dance, I'm sure they'll be attracted to me. Did it happen when I was a teenager? No. Did it happen when I was in my 20s? That's when it eventually.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, it is a unique idea of the romantic lead. I like that it's a bit different. I like that it's a bit because he's not. You're right. He's not the jock. He's not the bad boy from the wrong side of the tracks, or anything like that. There are elements of that here. He talks about his poverty and stuff like that, but he really is.
He opens up.
His main personality trait is that he's a dancer.
He's a dancer,
and I like that. I think it's a nice thing. It is different.
It's probably the first, because there's been a lot of dance movies now, but this is the. I feel that
it's probably not the first, but I think what it did was it created. Okay, so let's go. Full disclosure: I don't think this movie's great. So this is now the second time I've watched it, and both times, at the end of it, I am slightly bemused by its longevity.
Right.
Because to me, there are examples of this kind of movie.
Yep.
All through the 80s.
Yep.
That
are better.
I think are better.
Really?
I think
okay.
I think that it's the dancing in this that has a quality of its own, and that's that's great. For me, because I don't personally connect to it, I guess. Okay. I like it as a metaphor for expressing yourself. Mm-hmm. Blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's not lost on me. That's fine.
So you would rather a Footloose or a Flashdance?
See, what's funny is because when I was thinking of why do I find both of them more effective?
Really, Flashdance?
Yeah.
Oh, Tyson, no, Flashdance is so fucking shit.
But this or something like Saturday Night Fever, for instance.
Yeah.
It's. And I honestly can't really put my finger on it because a movie like Footloose shouldn't appeal to me.
Right.
I love it though. I really have an incredible soft spot for Footloose.
Right.
I'd say out of those ones, that's probably the one that I would say I would love.
Pick, yeah.
I can acknowledge that it's not a good movie, but I connect to it far more than I connect to this. And the only thing I could think of is that it was because it had a male protagonist.
Oh, okay.
And I think I'm left at a distance because I honestly think Jennifer Grey is the worst thing in this film.
Whoa, really?
Yeah. I think she's awful. And I have real trouble connecting with her.
Okay.
And I don't know what it is. I find her incredibly frustrating. I just don't think she is
this is going to be fun.
Doing a good job of this character.
Yeah. I think she's great.
I don't understand that.
Okay.
I don't understand. I cringe at her. And not like in a character, wow, she's so awkward way. Like as an actress. That scene where she breaks down in Johnny, is his name Johnny?
Yeah, Johnny
in Johnny's room.
Yeah.
About how she's worried that she's never gonna
leave this room.
She's gonna leave this room.
Look,
and
I
I'll
felt
never
that was a little
forced.
If you're gonna,
I'm like, this is unbearable. Like,
no, she comes. Okay, that's a little forced. I will give you that scene, but her acting is I think it's great. I think it's stellar. It's
interesting.
Yeah.
It's so interesting.
It's there.
But it's obviously just a matter of something that is obviously worked for you that just has not worked for me. And that's this is the nature of what we do.
Well, dissecting it, like going from the start, let's talk about her character, because I felt it was, for starters, it's really greatly written. She's not the, see, this is the thing. I'm going to hopefully change your mind about Dirty Dancing. So this is the thing. Was that a burp? Or did you just say no?
That was a
you
no.
said no.
No. Look, hey, maybe, but it's
open.
pretty unlikely.
Let's
I'm open to it.
You're open to it. You're open to it. Okay. So I felt she was greatly written. She was layered. For starters, she's not the stereotypical lead female who, for starters, she's not all about the boy, for starters. You know, it gets to that, but she's intelligent, she's smart, she's a little, she's still growing up. She's only just finished high school at this point, which age was a little bit of a weird thing rewatching it. I was like, is she... How old is she
I think
meant to be?
she's meant to be 17, 18,
is, yeah.
and I think he's meant to not be much older than that.
Yeah.
In real life, he was, but I don't think he's meant to be more than like 24, 25.
Yeah, exactly.
But we'll talk about part of that in a second.
Yeah. But yeah, she's smart, she's intelligent, she's going off to... She's a do-gooder. She likes to help people.
Yeah.
She wants to join the Peace Corps. You know, she loves her dad. But she's a little bit sheltered with life, and she learns that going to the Kellermans about, there are some big things that she deals with and things like that. But she's a great character. And not only that, and we'll get to it later, but throughout the movie you see her change, which was, for me, watching this for the upteenth time, I had never realized why she helps out Penny. Why does she jump in? Because she is a do-gooder, because she can, why don't you get someone else to do it? Because no one else can fit in, and she does help out.
Yeah.
And that I kind of got washed over for me why, she helped everyone out. But she's lovely. She's great.
She is. I'm not against much about how this character is written.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the performance for me
it's Jennifer. It's
I don't
Jennifer
buy
Grey that you
for
don't
a
like.
second.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think you're right. At the start, she is presented as a somewhat different kind of teenage girl with different ambitions and things, but I don't think she's being played that way. I think she's being played as like.
No, she's okay. She's a bit awkward at the start.
She's playing up the naive nature of her 17-year-oldness to like 15. And almost to the degree where the things she's saying about the Peace Corps, I don't feel the sincerity underneath that character writing.
Yeah.
And look, this is it's just the way that I'm perceiving it. But her reaction to Johnny is
the first sighting of him.
Is it?
When he comes in the room.
Oh, okay. So the first sighting isn't that, but the first sighting is really funny. I did want to make a mention of this.
Go on.
I love how the guy, the boss, who they're all like, oh, this square, he's such a lame-o and stuff. And all he's saying is don't shag the guests. And I'm like, I'm with the boss, man.
Which part is this?
So when he comes out and he's like, I want you to take him out dancing. I want you to be friendly.
Yeah,
but that's it. And all the guys are like, you're so square.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, man.
Hang on a minute.
He just doesn't want you to sexually assault guests, all right? He's on top of this shit. Give him a break, all right?
Yeah, that's true.
But
yeah, that
but
first
then
scene,
Swayze struts through with the sunnies and he's like,
leather
it's the
jacket.
entertainment. I'm like, what are you trying to do, man?
It was so good. I love that entrance.
But see, I'm not buying it either. I think he's been far more charismatic and far more like the cool guy in other movies.
Oh, in other movies?
In much
no way,
other
what are you
movies.
kidding me?
I don't know why it doesn't work for me.
Castle,
I don't know why it doesn't work for me.
It's the oh no.
But anyway, I was talking more specifically when she first meets him.
Yep.
She just she's like biting her lip like she's had this weird sexual awakening, like I'm watching Reefer Madness, like the documentary, and she's just smoked a bud and now she's, she wants to bang everybody. Like it goes really, it goes really strange.
No, you've never had that feeling of seeing someone twice when you were a teenager, and you have that feeling, you're like, oh my god, this person is turning something on in me. You've never had that.
But I'm like, This is what it comes back to. I don't buy the performance because
okay.
what she's doing.
No, it was subtle. It was nice.
It was not. It was nothing subtle
it
about
was a little
that
bit
at
subtle.
all.
It was nice.
If anyone saw her, they'd just be like, "Can you just?
Are you
like,
gyrating?
Do you want some ice, or do you need a chair?
No.
Or can you just?
It was awkwardly
chill out?
fun. You're talking? Okay, so when are you talking about? When she first sees him, she sees him in the scene where...
That's fine. That's fine. I'm talking about when he's dancing.
When I carried a watermelon. Is that what you're talking about? Or are you talking about...
Yes, prior to her saying, I carried a watermelon.
You're talking about when she's dancing... When he's dancing with Penny.
Yeah.
Right.
Which then leads into the dance with her.
Yeah.
Which is incredibly uncomfortable, I think.
It's meant to be uncomfortable.
I don't think they're selling it that way.
Okay, let's go back. Let's go back for a second.
I think they're trying to sell it as like a kind of the beginning of the heat.
No, I don't think...
like this brewing kind of attraction.
No.
Because it's kind of like, oh, it's you better actually put some distance between you because it's like it, you know. And I just don't feel anything. If anything, I just feel it's kind of gross. I'm kind of watching and I'm like, oh man, like, I don't know what she's doing. She looks really uncomfortable trying to do it. He doesn't, he keeps like knocking his fucking dick into her. And I'm just like, I'm not buying this for a second at all.
That is so beautiful. You clearly didn't get the thing of the scene.
What I'm saying is
but it's a bit of fun. No, you didn't get... Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that they're not trying to tell me that this is fun. I get that. They're trying to tell me that this is fun. They're trying to tell me that there is a bubbling kind of attraction between them.
No, I don't think the attraction thing is happening yet. I think it's happening with her, not with him. He is just showing her a good time.
Yeah, maybe.
She is like, oh, this is a bit of fun. No, there's no attraction happening yet, Tys, because the thing he does straight after that dance is grab her arm, flick it back over to her, and she's dancing by herself. And he goes, all right, see you later. If there was an attraction scene that was happening, he would have stayed there for a little bit longer. No, the attraction scene that you're talking about happens when they start doing the lift in the water. That's when some attraction
it's happened way before then.
No way.
They must...
no. He's
This
teaching
movie is
her.
telling me...
Actually, no. Actually, go back. No, it is. No, it's that scene. It's that scene. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back a little bit. Let's go back. Let's talk about... we've kind of talked about him a little bit, but let's bring up Johnny's character. What did you think about him? Fair enough, you didn't like Jennifer Grey. Let's talk about Patrick Swayze.
I think Swayze...
How is Swayze's performance for you?
Swayze's pretty good.
Okay.
Like, I think Swayze barely sets a foot wrong in most things. I think he's really kind of great.
Yeah.
This was his prime period.
Prime Swayze. Yeah.
He gets... It's funny how old Swayze got so quickly, though. This was 87.
It's because he liked to do his own stunts. That's why Swayze got old quickly.
Fair enough. But you think about something like Roadhouse is 88, I believe.
Yep, straight after this.
Oh, it might have actually been before.
No, it was after because they used, hilariously enough, I know this, they used the same song in Dirty Dancing when she goes to his room to have sex.
She's like the wind.
They end up having sex. No, not She's Like the Wind. And they played the same music that was playing in his room in Roadhouse. Guys, what are you doing?
What's the song?
I
love that song. Okay, yeah. So he went from this in 87. By 89, he was well and truly an action movie star with Next of Kin, Roadhouse. Then 1990 is Ghost. So in Ghost, he is a legit man. He is a man.
Yeah, he is.
I would assume mid-30s.
Right.
So you're telling me 3 years prior, he's playing a character where it's okay for him to fuck a 17-year-old?
Yeah, but Tys, we don't know. Like back in, think of. I Know What You Did Last Summer. Everyone was fucking 35 in that fucking movie.
No,
but
that's
they're
fine.
all in high school.
Two people. You put two like. But I'm saying Jennifer Grey sells that she's 17.
Oh, okay.
She's as much as I don't think
she was 28 at the time.
No.
24, 28.
There's a good 8-year gap between the two of them.
No, but in real life.
Oh, she might have been.
No, she was 28.
So she's.
But you're saying that she.
No, because he wasn't 30 something when he made this.
No.
I think she was. I don't think she was quite that old.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
well,
it's. Like, I don't think she's very good. We've already said this. I don't think she's very good. But what she is doing well is being a 17-year-old.
Okay.
She's got the awkward physicality. She's got the like, is she wearing a plate or something? I kept looking at her teeth and I was like, do you have braces or do you have like a retainer?
No.
It's weird. Like
I
it's
don't
something.
think so.
Okay, that's yeah. Well,
Okay.
anyway, so
Yep.
she behaves like a 17-year-old, which makes Swayze, who is ultra charismatic, very much grown up.
Yeah, he's
It actually it extends that gap even further for me.
okay.
Because I feel like he is so
Well,
I could never imagine him for anything younger than 25.
Yeah, that's
I reckon
true.
if you said 25, I'd be like, all right, but that's got to be that's the
Yeah,
bottom of the
yeah.
fucking of the list, surely.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's so good at being charismatic and being the troubled kind of,
Yeah.
he's got, he wants to be a good guy, but he feels like he doesn't deserve it because of his upbringing. But he is deep down. He's got he's the heart of gold.
Yeah.
But he sells that. He totally sells that.
does.
But he's built like a man. He behaves like a man.
Yep.
And he's banging a 17-year-old. And it kind of rubs me the wrong way.
Okay.
I can't help, and that's not my concern with
I think
this
she's
movie.
19,
That's not makes
I don't
this
think she's
movie.
17. I think she's 19 because Dad says she's going off to uni in the fall.
Yeah, so she's obviously it's summer and
Yep.
she's just finished year 12.
Yeah.
So she's 17 or 18.
17 or 18.
Yeah.
Okay. But still, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. So I find and that's not his fault.
No, of course not.
And it's nobody's fault. I think it's just, to me, they make it too.
It stuck out too much for you to turn it off. Is that what it was?
It's maybe not even. Like, it might not even be the case when I watched it. If I watched it in the 80s, I probably wouldn't. I don't even know if I'd feel that way. But there's an underlying feeling of manipulation, and that
From
he's
his
taking
side?
advantage.
What?
A little bit, don't you think?
No way. It's all her. For starters, we're going back, but no way. For starters, she comes onto him. He doesn't come onto her. She leads into it. She's the one that says, "Will you dance with me?" in his room.
Yes, but at no point tell me they weren't going to fuck by that point
Yes,
anyway.
of course, Tys,
he answers the door without a shirt on.
No.
It's just like, come on in.
It's his house.
Yeah, I don't know, man. If you tell me if you're when you look like that with your shirt off, and a girl who is at the door
Yep.
who you think maybe I shouldn't. It's not cool for me to have sex with.
No.
I go back indoors and I put a shirt on.
No.
I don't put music on, and I sit on two separate chairs, and I'm like, "What's up?"
Music was already on for starters.
You turn the music off.
Secondly, there was already attraction.
There
was already attraction.
Of course.
No, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Anyway, going back about his character. So he did well.
I think he's a great actor. I've always liked him. I've always liked him. This is nowhere near his best performance for me, but
the reason that I love Johnny Castle is because it's, especially rewatching it, he's, for a male in the 80s, Tys, you got to think of, at the time of this movie being made, you've got Schwarzenegger, Bruce Willis, Stallone in their prime. This is the 80s. This is where roids are hardcore. Everyone is either jacked or pumped up. If it doesn't have explosions, you're not a fucking man.
Yeah.
This is where Swayze comes in, and you see a male character for that 80s in that time.
He's incredibly unconventional as a action movie or romantic lead, I guess. As a romantic lead, less, because I think he's a very good looking dude.
He can dance.
And he can dance. So romantic movies, I get it. I like that he became an action movie hero. He kind of reminds me of early Kurt Russell. Kind of that wiry frame with the big hair
but I loved him
and the charm.
Yeah, I loved him because he was just, there were so many layers to him as well as Jennifer Grey. Like, he says to her in bed, I had a dream last night of your dad putting his arm around me, and he feels, he's wanted to be accepted in life.
Yeah.
He's dealing with all these things, like going from the streets to having women just throw themselves at him.
Yeah, look,
he's awesome.
I get that, and I think there's some nice attempts to kind of flesh out these characters a little bit.
Yeah.
But, they're not, it's not really paid off. It's not really like saying it in dialogue. Yeah. But then not really letting it kind of color his character in any way. Like, I don't, aside
the
from
end was kind of washed it, but still, it had that there. It was
what
awesome.
I found really interesting about his character is that I don't think he particularly grew a lot through the film. If you notice,
you didn't see it. You didn't see him
well,
grow.
maybe it's not the I mean, like
it was ended off with his speech at the end, and then they dance. But yes, I
like he's not going to be pushed around by the hotel staff or whatever, and that's cool, great, that's progress, good.
Yeah.
It seemed to me though that the movie's idea of character development for him wasn't so much having him grow, but having people no longer think the way they thought about him at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
All the main character development that happened for Patrick Swayze happened through the eyes of people like Baby's dad and the hotel clerk, who thought of him one way. He refused to argue that against them, and then eventually the truth came out, and then they said, "Oh, he's not that bad after all." He actually never changed, though. Do you know what I mean? He was always a good guy.
Yeah.
Other people's perception of him just changed.
Well, I think
because of things just coming out.
No, I think he got more courage with being with Baby and her being the type of person that she is. Standing up for people and
look, and that's a conversation they have, of course,
rubbed off on him.
But it's not like he wasn't already being like a shining armor for Penny. For Penny, it's not like it took Baby for him to then do. Like, he was already just this fucking brilliantly lovely dude who just had a really bad reputation.
Yeah.
And then by the end of the movie, he just didn't have the reputation anymore because Penny's because Baby's dad found out that he didn't knock up Penny.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Like, that's great, but that's not development. That's other people's perception changing of a character. Yeah, he's always been that nicer guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I find that his growth comes more from other people
Fair
and
enough.
him saying things in conversation. Like, I don't see it very much.
Fortunately, the movie ends, I feel, a little bit too soon, so before you see it. Yes, I do agree with you there. But as far as Patrick Swayze's character, I think he had a lot of depth. I think it was awesome. I think it was something that we hadn't seen.
But this is Swayze's natural charisma. I think he brings depth to roles because he is just. You look
amazing.
At him and he has
exactly.
that. Like, it's the same with like Roadhouse should not be a successful movie.
But it was
but
awesome.
For some reason it is. Like, and it's got to be. You've got to put it on Swayze's shoulders, I think.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that he really hadn't done much before Outsiders blows my mind because he is such a charismatic,
even in Outsiders,
character in Outsiders. And to me, like, he's playing the grown-up big brother in Outsiders.
Yeah, he is,
And he arrived kind of in Hollywood fully formed as a responsible character.
Yep.
Like, that was what he would do well. The grown-up, the sensible one, the one with his head kind of screwed on, right? Yeah, and he does that so well, but he does it with layers that just happen naturally because he's just that kind of performer. It's funny because he's one of those actors that I don't think about how much I love, but I really think he's great.
Yeah.
He's excellent in pretty much everything he does.
He's awesome.
The later stuff, not so much, but
Black Dog, not that great. But still.
But like, this is his peak, like 85 or 84-ish to like 92, 93, I guess.
When was Point Break?
Point Break, 92?
92?
91, 92?
Yeah. I think it was all downhill after Point Break.
Well, I think he had a few hits, winners here and there. Like, he's incredible in Donnie Darko, but that's almost they're using our perception of him against him.
Against us,
against us.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think the most effective relationship in the movie is the one between Johnny and Penny. I think it's lovely.
Right.
I think the platonic friendship between them is probably the realest relationship in the film, I feel like.
Really?
Yeah. And I think it's also a complicated relationship. It's got some real kind of colour to it. I like how when he punches up Bobby, that she kind of storms away, like,
she's like
what the fuck, like,
yeah, dude.
And I like that because I think it says so much about that kind of extended friendship.
Okay,
because it's clear that there is residual
fucking Bobby
because the way they dance with each other, so they've obviously got chemistry when they dance.
You see the chemistry when they dance,
and which we'll come back to because that's an also thing. I don't feel any chemistry when they dance at all.
That end bit, are you kidding me?
I think the end is effective for completely different reasons.
We'll come back.
Yeah, which to me that's the grown-up relationship of this film. That's the one that gives Johnny.
They do look like their age.
It makes Johnny a better character because he can have that relationship with somebody, that grown-up, adult, responsible relationship where it's like, you know what? Yes, we are attracted to each other. Yes, we dance with all this chemistry.
I think they're just more worldly.
It's better that we don't like. It doesn't work.
Yeah,
it doesn't work for us to be together. That is a grown-up, responsible relationship.
Yeah,
his relationship
with baby, however,
I feel like is like the anti that. It's him being a 18-year-old boy, not taking responsibility for anything and having a fling.
No way! This is love. This is amazing.
No,
What are you insane?
Don't buy it for a second.
What are you insane?
Nah, I don't buy it
this
for
is
1
someone
second.
who has shown. He has shown a different way of life from what baby has shown him. Sticking up for yourself and going after the things that you want to. You know. All of those things he is being shown. You're not going to see if there was a sequel. You know, you would see it through that. There is a sequel, but you're not talking about that. You know,
Havana Nights.
No, we're not talking about Havana Nights. You know, I think you're downplaying their relationship. I think that this is capturing more. I think for starters, we're looking way too deep into his character, but it's more about baby's turn. But
Sure.
I think that their relationship is there. It's more of a say what you will about maybe it's a summer fling. Maybe they're not going to be together forever, but it has that summer feel. You know.
Look, I know that what it's meant to do for baby's character is the kind of the importance of the film. That kind of. You know that
because
she
suddenly becomes a wiser
person.
Exactly.
She understands the world a bit better. Blah blah blah. All that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Turns into it. She becomes an adult in this film.
Yes, but I know, and I'll say that I agree that's the intention. I just don't feel. I don't feel that turn much from her because I feel like really, aside from she kind of stands up to her dad a little bit, even though but even though he's also been kind of reasonable.
He's being reasonable, especially for.
And it's another one of these things. And look, this might just be me now because I'm not a teenager anymore.
Yeah,
I feel like most of the adults in this film, are the smart ones. And when her dad is like, I don't want you hanging around with these people.
Oh, Tys, you old man.
I think he's got a point, man. That's his daughter. He knows nothing about this guy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. If I thought that as well. If my daughter was in that position. You know, if I was there, I'd be like,
and when he finds that, and when she has to admit that no, she spent the night with him in his room. That's how he knows he didn't steal the wallets.
Yeah,
like that is a
fucking big deal.
What a fucking knife in the heart of this guy.
Yeah, that is.
And he's like beautifully played. The father,
amazing.
like lovely,
amazing.
The Law and Order guy.
He played
fuck, I can't remember his name now. He's got a great name too.
He played Lumiere in Beauty and the Beast, the original. God damn it, we suck.
Yeah. Oh, I
2
love
seconds.
his name. I love his name. But,
Jerry Orbach.
Oh, Orbach. I love it. Jerry. It's such a Jerry.
Jerry, yeah.
But
he played... No, I understand what you're saying. Yeah. I do understand what you're saying. But you got to think of... I guess this is why...
And he's not being unreasonable.
No,
he
he's
wants
not.
to do all this stuff.
Yeah. And
he lends her this money.
I know.
Which is... in the most beautiful fashion.
Hang on, wait, you're going too far.
Is it important? Is it illegal? Then have the money. I love that. Anyway.
Jesus.
I'm just a cranky old man.
I know, you're a cranky old man. But you got to think of it if you did watch this movie when you were a teenager, because if you did, this is what you wanted. You wanted summers, for starters, to last as long as it did. You wanted to have a good time. You wanted to break some rules. She ends up helping people and she falls in love.
Sure.
What was my point? God damn it, I had a point.
You're right. It is the teen idea.
Oh, that was my point. So if you had watched this movie when you were a teenager, Tys, obviously you're coming at it as more of an adult. That's why you're seeing these things, such as, the dad is being quite reasonable. He did just bail you and your friends out of something that back then was very illegal. And he was okay with it. Then, you just said to him that you spent the night with the man that he thinks got Penny in trouble.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're going to have that reaction as well. So he is very kind, but you got to see it from her point of view, I feel.
Yes. Okay. That's fine.
Yep.
But when we're never presented with not the alternative, but the understanding from Baby, we're never presented with that element of...
No, because he lied to her. He told her wrong things as well. This is in the argument what they have when they're both crying on the porch, and it's just beautiful. It's so beautiful.
It's fine. What? Sorry,
she goes up to him, and he's upset and giving her the silent treatment because of what she said. We're skipping way too far, by the way.
No, it's fine. We're just
going to jump back.
We'll just jump.
All right. She says to him, "Dad, I understand why you're upset. I understand that I lied to you about quite a few things. I borrowed the money. It was for someone to have an abortion. It wasn't me. But you always said to help people out. But what you meant by saying that, Dad, was because he brought her up to say, make sure that you help people out and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But what he meant was by being a lawyer or being I forget the other thing that she says. Someone in high society, Tys. Help people in high society. Be a doctor or a lawyer or something like that. So he didn't tell her of the other side of the world or teach her about the other side of the world, which is what she was helping out.
Sure.
So things like that. So that's why... God damn it, what was the point of that?
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah, look,
So he lied to her, she lied to him. That's why, that's what you were looking for.
So look, I think we're gonna just go around in circles because I feel like I would love to be convinced, but I'm not on board for its core kind of concept. I think more than anything else, this is a bit of fun,
okay.
And I think so. What ends up happening is because this has an incredible amount of longevity, this film, and I think it comes from that mentality that a lot of our generation and the generation before us saw it as they were young.
Yeah.
So it came out when we were like 5.
Yeah. And our generation has made our children watch it at a certain time.
Yeah. Well, I think so. Think about it. So the people that were about 15 years older than us.
Yep.
Watched it when it came out.
Yep.
Would have totally related to it.
Yep.
Then you had us when we were, in our 15 teenagers.
And we watched it with the people who watched it before us as well.
We probably watched it with them. Or it became like because I keep forgetting like that 1987 feels like so long ago.
Yeah.
When in reality it was only 10 years later that I was this age.
Yeah.
Or close to this age.
Yeah.
Only 10 years later. So when I'm talking about movies like Chasing Amy and Swingers, the distance between Dirty Dancing to Swingers is about 4 times the distance of Swingers to now.
That's true, yeah.
And so I sometimes don't put that kind of connection together.
In the sept,
that this movie, its longevity comes from our generation seeing it at a very particular time.
Yeah.
I just don't think, like certain other movies, like I think you can watch a John Hughes film at any point in your life.
Yeah.
Because...
Or Grease. Grease is always
Grease has got a really strange...
doesn't fucking age. No matter what fucking age you watch Grease.
But it's so incredibly watchable.
It fucking works all the time.
Yeah, it's so bizarre.
Why does Grease work?
It's something to talk about. I don't understand.
We're going to do a Grease episode where we sing.
Oh, yeah, we'll do a sing-along. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Hey, so, like a John Hughes movie.
Yeah.
It brings... It not only it appeals to that generation at that moment, but it also appeals in a nostalgic way to people seeing it for the first time as adults, which I don't think this does as effectively. I don't think this makes me remember fondly my teenage years. I think it makes me look at this time and think, what idiots.
Really?
Whereas something like Breakfast Club...
Well, there might be a bit of a difference because Breakfast Club was set in the 80s where this is
set in the 60s,
63.
Well, okay.
It may be a little bit different.
I'll
it may
finish
have a
this
factor.
point and then I'll
it
go
may
back
be
to
a
this
factor.
point.
Yeah.
But I think watching something like a John Hughes film as an adult, you see yourselves in these characters a time ago.
Yep.
I don't feel like that happens when you watch Dirty Dancing. I don't think you then transplant yourself to those people at that age.
Okay.
I think I watch it separated from it still. Okay. And I reflect on it as a 30-something-year-old, not as a teenager. Yeah. Whereas John Hughes, Breakfast Club, all these movies, I feel like I'm in a time machine when I watch them, even though I wasn't a teenager in the 80s. Yeah. I feel like I'm in a time machine watching them. I feel like I am those people.
What age were you when you watched the John Hughes films?
No, I got them really late.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Late.
Decent.
I was well,
that's what John Hughes does.
I was well and truly in my 20s
seriously.
before I saw any of
Breakfast Club is like full on.
But this is the thing. Like, I think Dirty Dancing, a lot of people feel the same way about that. It's nostalgic, and I'll never have it, and I'm trying to figure out why
you don't have that. I'm really sad. Okay.
I just want to mention quickly about the time period.
Yeah, 63.
It's really confusing with the soundtrack choices and the diegetic sound and the diegetic music.
Yeah, and
I think it's a horrible choice to combine those two because they're not making. Aside from the fact that, I think this is another reverse engineered thing. I think in order to make the abortion more effective, I think that's a lot of the reason why it's set in the 60s.
Yeah. And
to highlight the Peace Corps mentality of her. I think they were two choices that wouldn't have worked in the 80s. Other than that, this could be 1987 because they barely commit to the costumes. They barely commit to the... They do barely commit to the costumes. The vocal quality, like the conversational style.
That's true, yeah.
And what happens is you're watching and a song, an 80s song plays, and it just feels like it's the 80s.
When does the 80s song play?
There's
apart
all
from
the way
the
through
end.
it. No, there's heaps in it.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
There's even one that they're listening to on the radio, when she's got the watermelons.
Yeah.
The first song that plays and you hear it from a distance is all synthy and... I can't remember what song it was, but then the second song when they get up there is back to 60s stuff.
Wow, I don't remember any 80s stuff. Maybe I'll blank it out.
There's a couple, and there's a part in one of the montages as well when it's a big old 80s song, and that felt like an 80s dance montage.
She's Like the Wind.
Well, She's Like the Wind as well. That's definitely because that was written by him.
Yeah.
So there's at least 3 or 4.
Oh, okay, all right.
And I think it just confuses the setting completely because. Other than that, what reason is there for it to be set in the 60s, really?
Well, when I watched it, and still when I watch it now, it's just set in the 60s for me.
Well, okay.
Like, it doesn't really move anywhere apart from, you're just seeing rooms. Settings for the 60s, you see like pans and of cityscapes or cars.
Look, you don't have a lot of outside influences to help direct
you with that. Yeah, exactly. So you're relying on what you said is voice and costume and things like that.
The dialogue styles and
really
the costumes and the relationships between people and the kind of the way that certain, like I just don't think that the bus boys would be so casual about sleeping around and stuff like that.
No, but that's the thing.
They talk about it in like 80s dudes in like. Those movies like those teen sex comedies like Valet Boys and stuff like that. Yeah, Meatballs. Like they talk about it that way and I'm kind of like, I'm confused by that because I have a feeling.
But this is...
Yeah, anyway.
Okay. Two things. Well, because we've brought it up, on the whole, because I know you're a muso, Tys, what do you think about the soundtrack?
I mean, they're great songs. They kill it. They're like, these are the classic kind of Motown stuff, a lot of it. And it's really beautiful. There's some early kind of... doo-wop stuff, which I love. Yeah. I think, like, does Earth Angel get a... No, it's something like Earth Angel gets a run.
That stuff. Amazing.
Yeah, and it's some of my favorite music. It's beautiful stuff. I really enjoy it.
The other thing that you brought up, which I wanted to say, the reason that the waiters are sleeping with the girls, like the class system is quite a big point in this film, which I didn't realize until literally this watching.
Sure, yeah,
like I didn't
are
get
really
it
trying to
this.
do something with that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Which they're trying to push with, especially with the entertainment, which I didn't get. I'm like, why do the entertainment crew get different. Oh, that's right. I got it explained to me.
Because they're kind of expected to sleep with people.
Yeah, exactly. But that's because they're Ivy League and all of that, where the dancers are literally from the streets.
It's a very strange expectation of these people.
Yeah,
I think
it's showing the difference between people who work for their money, like working back-to-back shifts and things like that, whereas being born into money and going to Ivy League schools and being okay because I'm going to have a year off to do the fucking Peace Corps. I think it's a nice idea what they're trying to put in there, and I think that's part. That stuff, some really grown-up stuff happens in this movie. Yeah,
like some really serious stuff that I think belongs in a different movie, like in a movie that wants to kind of actually tackle some of this stuff.
No, I think they've handled it well. I know
they've handled it fine for a teenage romance,
exactly.
But there is some stuff in there there's some stuff in there that, like, I think if this was made now, where we're all a little bit more comfortable saying the word abortion. She was in a bit of trouble. Or you're the one that got her in a bit of trouble. But yeah, where we're all a little bit more comfortable with that, where it wouldn't be quite so, because this is the kind of movie that I think you're watching it as, because I know people would watch it when they're 10, 12, because it's like, it's Dirty Dancing.
Exactly,
yeah, of course you can watch it.
Yeah.
And this would be stuff that would just go over the kids' heads.
Yeah.
And at some point, it's going to click on a 16-year-old, and they go, oh, are they fucking those old lady dance that do the dance classes? Is that what this is?
Yeah.
Like, it's going to click, and it's actually something that should be talked about a bit more, should be developed in this thing. Because you've got someone like Bobby who is just presented as a complete fuckwit.
Yeah.
But he's a product of that.
Yeah.
And there is something to be said for that. He's basically just discarded as shit, like a piece of shit.
True,
but he is a product of that upbringing.
Because
he's in that situation where he has everything he wants. He's rich. He can sleep with any of these rich old ladies and take he's going to the Ivy Leagues. He has been spoon-fed his whole life, and he knows no different.
Yeah, that's true.
That.
That's true.
And yet, I'm not saying he's not a fucking asshole, because he is. It's almost like at some point someone should be saying, do you know what? You're an asshole because of this being normalized. That's what's made you an asshole.
But
this behavior has been normalized by everybody around him in that hotel? Yeah?
Yeah.
Including, like, the little shit
But tell me things have changed, Tys. Tell me the people that don't live in the hierarchies parts of the world.
It's fine if it hasn't changed. I'm saying this is a conversation this movie should be having.
No,
if it wants to bring up class issues...
yes, sure. I think it's doing it light.
It's doing the light version. It's saying...
Dirty Dancing is a PG movie.
Yeah.
It's doing it light.
But yes, it does it a disservice to bring it up and then only say the rich people are bad, the poor people are good.
No, but that's the thing, Tys. Like you said, the people that are going to watch this movie are, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Yeah, sure.
So it's getting it into their head. Mum, what's happening to her? Why does she need a doctor? What's going on? Well, that opens up to
what parents are going to actually bring that
proper
up?
Proper parents who should talk about what an abortion is.
Oh, she's sick,
be
darling.
strong.
It's fine. She's just a bit sick. She's just had a bit of trouble. Don't worry
when
about it.
When she's 10, sure, but it brings that up, and it gives it, like you said, it puts it into these kids' heads.
Look, maybe it is enough, but
I think now that you've brought it up, though, it does put it. It shows it in not a positive light, but it's showing it in not a negative light.
What's that?
The abortion.
No, and look, it is. I mean? It's.
But Penny as a character, when she's written after the abortion, it's not as if she's vilified for having an abortion.
that's the most positive element to it, is that they kind of make it clear that it's not a bad thing for her to do this. It's a life choice illegal, that she made that was for the benefit of everybody.
At the time,
but it's still kind of on the nose that they never say the word. Though, I feel.
No, that's true. They don't say the word. But it was
87.
87?
Anyway, we've been talking about... Who knew we'd fucking talk about Dirty Dancing for so long?
I love Dirty Dancing.
I know you do. Do you want to know... There's a couple of things I did like.
Go for it. Here we go. Cool. A lighter thing. Go, Tys. What did you like about Dirty Dancing?
Lighter things. Okay.
I have to talk about one. Go.
We'll
go one for one. What did you like?
One for one.
Go.
What did I love or what did I think was funny? That's probably...
No, go. What did you love first? Go on.
What did I love?
Yeah.
I loved the girl at the end who was wearing a blue dress, who was one of Patrick Swayze's dancer friends, who when he does a move and it's kind of sexy and she legit... Woo!
Oh, yeah, at the end.
Yeah.
Wow!
She's so enthusiastic.
Oh, I love that.
She is, and like, it's a guttural woo. It's not like it's not,
It's
woo!
a held on. No, it's wow. Yeah.
I love her.
How
She
good
was
is
great.
that? Yeah, I love that because all the dancers, all the badass dancers are at the back. Just hold it like they're smoking and just standing in the back. So hot. So hot.
Yeah, okay. What
One
do you
of
love?
mine is just Baby's sister. Baby's sister is comedy gold.
Okay. Baby sister
Go on.
doesn't always work for me. She does.
She works completely.
I think her funniest lines are
Go on.
the,
Her song?
I'm gonna sleep with Bobby tonight. He doesn't know it yet. Oh,
Yeah.
stuff like that. The way she just breaks out in conversation is just like, oh, by the way, I'm gonna shag him. I found really funny.
She is so funny. No way, her song.
Okay, so I have a problem with that because that is a scene that belongs in a different movie,
I love it.
in a legit comedy.
Yeah.
It's played as a comedy, like it's played
great.
as like a it should be in bring it up again, like a John Hughes movie or like a Meatballs or something like that. It to me it messes with the tone of this.
No way, I think it's perfect because she was comedy gold throughout all of it. Even after, like, one of my favorite bits is when
she plays.
No, wait.
Go.
She goes when Baby says when it's raining later on in the movie and she leaves. She goes, "Baby, where are you going?" "Oh, I'm going to play board games in the thing." And as she leaves and the family doesn't pay any attention to her, the line is, and I love it so much I wrote it down, is, "Where is my beige iridescent lipstick?" Just in the background.
Yeah,
she's funny.
She is funny, but that's all in universe comedy.
No way, it was gold.
This dance number is completely
the
out
dance
of
number.
It's so out of universe for me.
It was so funny.
It's funny, but it's funny like
It was so good. Are you telling me it's not good?
No, it's funny like legit comedy funny. That would be.
Oh, okay.
I think it just messes with the tone in this.
There are comedy bits in it. In Dirty Dancing.
Oh, I didn't laugh once
What?
at anything else.
Seriously?
What
What about Newman? Newman's all the way through this movie, and he was funny. What?
No.
Are you serious?
It was good to see him.
She rocks up, and the first thing she says, they get out of the car. They just get to the hotel. He's listing off what they're doing. You didn't find this funny? Listing off. We got things down by the lake. We got the foxtrot for you youngsters, and for you older folks, we've got sex. That's not funny? No?
What?
No?
No.
Okay.
No, it didn't do much for me.
Tough crowd. I love Newman. Okay, next funny bit. What else did you like, Tys?
Look, the entirety of The Last Dance is incredibly effective.
Insane.
Incredibly effective
Tell
as a
me you
scene.
went up on your feet, Tyson. Tell me you went up on your feet.
No, I wasn't quite up on my
Tyssie.
feet. Unfortunately, it's all the moments aside from the lift, which is a great kind of thematic idea. It's great. The lift doesn't work until she's confident enough to
It's
do
a
it.
good
I
movie,
get it.
Movie plot.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's which is great,
Mhm.
but it's also kind of like she's she doesn't really does she trust him at that point until
No,
she
it's
can
not
do
about that. It's not about that. It's
so
about
it's
the dance.
it's entirely about
dancing
her
the
having the
point.
confidence to do it. It's not about how much she trusts him to also hold him.
Mm.
Is that what you're saying?
No, I think you're thinking too much about it. I think
Okay.
the lift doesn't.
It's
mean
just a
that
simple
much. Yeah,
thematic
it's
kind of
yeah.
like she couldn't do it, now
She can do it now. She can.
Isn't it all good?
Yeah. I actually, just going back, I actually don't like the lift. I think the lift is boring.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know it's a big thing.
It actually
in
kind of
dancing.
is an effective moment for me. It kind of like to me
See,
it was
there
kind of
you
like,
go.
oh, nice.
That's what
This
I
is
wanted.
lovely. This is a really, but that to me the whole Last Dance is mostly effective because of Swayze and the rest of the crew. That bit where they come down from the back is incredible. The bit where and I love the bit where he jumps off the stage and he doesn't dance. He just basically
moves.
and he's just being the coolest
Yep,
motherfucker
he
ever.
is. How is that triple twist though, Tys? Jesus, that is all Swayze.
Yeah, look.
He jumps off, he lands, triple twist. Fuck me.
Yeah,
Jesus.
and he's incredible.
Yeah.
And this adds to the thing about her is that I feel like when she's involved, it brings it down.
Oh, here we go.
I can't help it. I just
That's all
found
right.
her so
That's all right.
ineffective.
That's all right. Go on.
Yeah. that's kind of
that was
they're
kind of
the
it.
things that I really liked. I really like a lot about it. I really tried.
Yeah.
This is another kind of in-universe moment which confused the tone for me at the end. Is that he's singing along to Time of My
Doesn't matter
Life.
at this point, Tys.
I know, but it kind of
I love that you
gets me really frustrated because in my head I'm trying to justify the 80s music playing in the soundtrack with the diegetic music of the 60s, and so I'm separating them. I'm saying, okay, do you know what? It's kind of like it's an out of universe kind of, it's a fantasy element.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's where the 80s music's coming from.
Yeah.
I can
They're
separate
just dancing right now.
and the 60s stuff is what's happening in real life.
Yeah.
But then he's singing along and the band's playing and it's a 60s band and it's this synthy, like there is one guy with a saxophone and a trumpet and I'm hearing the full synth, the full like the synth horn that was used in like all those 80s songs that are like 6 different horns layered on each other.
So I'm just going to say that I'm sure a lot of people are screaming down at their podcast right now, Tys. You are analysing it way too much.
But yeah, but that's okay. But this
sure, but
then like as if a movie tells me that it's not a romantic comedy, because it's not necessarily a romantic comedy. I don't think you could call this a romantic comedy. It's a romance drama.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think there's comedy elements.
There
to
are
it,
comedy,
yeah.
but there's always some always some moments to laugh at.
Yeah.
That it wants to deal with certain kind of heavier topics. It also wants to be kind of, it kind of wants to be reflective of the process of growing up as a teenager.
Does that well.
You're making some statements that tell me that this film is not to be just taken lightly. So when you say you can't overanalyze that too much, then I'm like, well, that's not the movie that it was up to that point. This movie's telling me I should.
No, that's true. But what it's giving you, Tys, which you have to remember, it's giving you the Hollywood ending. It's giving you the ending that everyone didn't want. They wanted the summer that never ended, and this is what that is doing. It is keeping it in a box. You don't want it to end with. And I know that this is kind of not answering your question or making a point to what you wanted, but But it's doing that for us. It's giving us the Hollywood ending that Dirty Dancing needs, that Dirty Dancing has, rather than it needs.
I could live with this in that perspective.
Yep.
If I thought about it like the way Grease ends. Right?
It does the end the way Grease ends. It pans back. They go off in the car. It just pans back and they're still dancing. Nothing ever happens.
But this is kind of what I mean. If you present something, like, I'm not saying you have to have like a fantastical element to it. Yeah. But because what that does at the end of Grease is that it provides, it tells you that,
oh, it's just a bit of fun.
It's a fantasy. Yeah. It's like everything, because up to that point, nothing fantastical has happened. And then all of a sudden, oh, we're in a flying car.
Grease
what the fuck?
Grease doesn't really deal with adult themes. This does.
No,
lightly,
there's a few
but
in
still,
there.
Yeah.
So if you want to then have the finale of this be this kind of fantasy element, like it's the summer that never ended, we're going to dance to this song from the 80s even though it doesn't matter and stuff like that. It's fine. I can probably accept that.
Yeah.
If I believed that was their plan. And I don't think it was. I don't think them dancing to what is an 80s song. Yep. I don't think him mouthing the words to an 80s song so that it suddenly becomes real in their universe. It's not just something for us to
sure
create that fantasy.
Yep.
It's now that's what's happening because he knows the words to this song that won't get written for 20 more years. So now, so I don't know what they're trying to tell me because I'm not convinced that they're trying to say it's like a Grease style ending. I think that they just don't care, and I think that's worse.
No, I think you're looking at the. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
but I think it's not that they don't care. I think it's they're just finishing it off with a bit of fairy dust. Like they're just it's like no, and then the movie ends.
Sure.
Have him singing the song doesn't really affect me. It's at this point, like once the dance starts and once
So we can assume that the
Baby and
story
Johnny
is
go
over,
out.
essentially. The
Once
story's over.
Baby
This
and-
finale is 100% like the finale of a musical, where it's just like we all just get on stage and dance.
Yep. I literally think that's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Because
I'm not hugely comfortable
Once
with that.
Baby and Johnny go to, which I always found really weird. It always pulls me out because they leave the dance floor. Like he goes, come on.
Oh yeah,
And
they gotta
leave,
go and then they come back. Yeah.
and then they're back in the middle of the dance floor.
Yeah.
That's the one bit that I don't like.
The one bit.
There are two bits that I don't like. I love this movie, Tys.
I know, right? You really do.
Yeah.
It's good.
I hope
man.
I've done people justice by sticking up.
Yeah,
for
look, and
it's been fun. No,
I
this
think
has
you
been
are
good.
I think you are the. I don't think.
I am.
I think you're the majority.
Yeah.
I think you are the majority in this case.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure there are people that don't like it. Well, the reviews that I read, there were a couple of people that didn't like it. But yeah, I feel that
Ebert ripped it a new one,
didn't he? Jesus, and I read the New York Times one as well when it came out. I was like, gee, okay. It just was like, no, it was good, and that was it. Don't go into it expecting Shakespeare. But what are you expecting with a title like Dirty Dancing? Like, really, what are you expecting? You're expecting a bit of fun, and it was great. And I bopped along. I got up. I wanted to dance, and I did when I was a kid. I know those dance moves. I even learnt my favorite was the end. That move, that dance that you told me that got you, the one where the dancers are coming out from the back. I know every single.
Which reminds
bit
me
of
also of the Footloose.
Exactly.
Of the Footloose one.
Exactly. But yeah, going into a movie called Dirty Dancing, it's just a bit of fun, and that's why I love it. And that's why.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can acknowledge that opinion, and there are movies that I believe are like that for me, and if you can take that from a movie, then that's great. That's kind of that's your takeaway from it, and that works great. Yep. I'm glad I actually am really glad that you can take that away from it. Like it's a good thing because there are movies for me that I feel that way about too. But what I was finding when watching it for a second time is that whenever I tried to do that, it kept telling me that I should be taking this more seriously.
Oh, okay. And
that's where I got held up because I'm like, you want me to take this seriously, but so I will, and it's not good. Okay. If you want me to take it seriously, if you want me to have a good time and just have a bit of fun, you're not doing that right. You need to stop trying to do these things. Okay. You need to stop trying to make this a serious drama because it doesn't work on that level.
I think
to me.
Yeah. I think it's drama light.
Yeah.
I think it handles it well with the audience that it plays to. A little bit of serious, but mostly worth
sure. And if you are in the mood where you're just like, I just want like some movie of the week style drama where it's like, you know what, it's light and it's fine, whatever. And that's good. That's great. Exactly. And it's Swayze doing his thing, then that's fine. I wasn't able to, and I think that's where I put a wall kind of between me and this movie. Because if I want a light, fun movie, it won't have abortions in it. It won't have
It will be
kind of questionable sexual ethics. Like in my enjoyable fluff dance movies, I don't think I want to deal with those things. I think if your movie is willing to bring that stuff up, I'm ready to deal with it.
You would go to it. You've been served. You've got served. What was that movie called?
Yeah, no, it's.
Step Up.
No, Stomp the Yard.
Yeah. Stomp the Yard.
That one goes all right.
Bring it on. No, wait. Drumline. No, hang on. How many more can I do?
Save the Last Dance. That's rubbish, that film.
I hate her.
It's so rubbish.
What is her name?
Julia Stiles. She's okay.
Piss off.
She's great in 10 Things I Hate About You.
No, she can go suck a
poor Julia Stiles.
No, don't poor Julia Stiles me. Go suck a fuck.
Oh, no.
No, I'm sorry.
Poor girl. She's all right.
No, she's terrible. I'm allowed to my opinion. She sucks. Dirty Dancing, on the other hand, badass.
Excellent. Well, yeah, we talked about that a lot more than I thought we would.
That was pretty good.
That's good.
Let's hope Tys doesn't cut too much out, people.
No, we've got a fair bit of material here, so
there you go. Put that in.
It'll be a healthy conversation, I think.
Well, let's.
Dirty Dancing, man.
I loved it.
I'm glad you do. Like it's.
I really do. I know
it's cool to have
a
movie like that.
I am the minority.
I think you're the majority.
Sorry, yes, I meant the
Yeah.
majority. Sorry.
Yeah. But that's fine. Like, I'm sure there's people that piss on the movies that I love. And so,
Exactly.
I'm
sure everyone-
that's fine.
there's
Love
a
what you
lot-
love, man.
There's a lot of people that hate Lord of the Rings, Tys.
I don't understand that.
Yeah, a lot of people hate
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings.
But that's just because they're the kind of people that are like, no, it's all too much. It's gibberish.
Yeah, I know.
And it's like, yeah, but just get past that. Get past the...
Or not even, just bake in it.
Or like, yeah.
Sit in it and
sit
have a nice...
stew in it.
Exactly. So many good lines, though, in this movie, Tys. So many good lines.
True.
Anyway, that was Dirty Dancing.
We're gonna move on today.
We are.
This is where we usually do a mailbag section, but we're a little pressed for time, and we've received some correspondence that we feel requires a kind of a meatier chat.
It does. It's a little bit more... We would like to do a little bit more research on the topics.
So shout out to Nick thank you for emailing in. We are definitely going to attack what you've sent us.
Yeah, man.
We are just going to take another week and do... so that we can really kind of pay its due. Not so much like... I think we could talk about it right now, but we'd talk for half an hour.
We could... Yeah, that's the
and
thing.
we
We've
don't
already...
have half an hour.
That's true.
Not tonight, anyway.
No.
So we're going to move off the mailbag. But just for today, please keep mailing us. Everybody tweeting at us. Whatever, tweeting us. Tweeting.
I love that it happens every week now.
fucking
You have to
week.
do it every week.
Yeah.
Email us, write to us on Facebook. You can write us in a private message if you want to. If you don't want to know who your name is, you can send messages on Twitter as well. You can follow us on Twitter and do that stuff.
Do that. You can even comment on our homepage.
On Facebook.
Once the episode is posted, feel free to post a comment underneath it what you thought about the episode.
Yeah.
You're more than welcome to. Or go to our YouTube channel and fill it up with, comments.
Exactly.
So we're going to move on to Crossing the Streams.
That's terrible.
Yeah, that's what we're going to use.
Streams.
I've still got to do that updated. I've got to take the...
Crossing the Streams.
Yeah, I've got something worked out.
Oh, okay.
I've got something worked out, yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Stay tuned for maybe, who knows, maybe if I get my shit together, it might even be this week. You might have just heard our
Crossing the
Stream theme,
intro.
or you just heard me going...
Crossing the Streams.
Crossing the Streams. Hey, Nick, what do you got this week?
My Crossing the Streams for this week is now I'm of the... I have a little bit of an opinion, Tys, unfortunately.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. On the work that the Australian industry puts out.
Oh, okay. That's a long conversation.
It is a long one. And I'm not huge fan of most of it. Don't get me wrong, there are amazing gems in there though.
Yes.
And I wanted to talk about one which is on Netflix, which is called The Babadook.
Ah, very good.
Have you seen The Babadook?
I've seen half of The Babadook.
How have you seen fucking half of it? I hate
was
these people.
not prepared for that film.
It scared the shit out of you.
It scared me a little too much for the situation I was in at that very moment,
So
trying to watch it.
Full disclosure, our audience, Tys is a big fraidy cat.
I am.
And
coming soon to Nic, Tys and Videotape is we're going to
do a segment.
we're going to be running segments. The first of which is actually going to be next week. You're going to hear about that shortly.
But
one of our segments is going to be scaring the shit out of Tys, basically.
Which is going to be awesome.
Which is Nick telling me which fucking hideously scary movie he's going to make me watch, and we're going to talk about it.
We're going to get to a list. But yeah, The Babadook. So Tys... I feel like I don't need to watch it. If Tys is the type of person who stops it in the middle because it is too scary, that means you need to watch this movie. This movie doesn't use a whole lot of gore. It's not gory at all. It uses the old school skill of scaring you in your own house. Plus, the story itself is just quite messed up on many different levels.
It was 100%. It was just the atmosphere of that film. It has a very unsettling atmosphere,
and especially because it's set in Australia.
And maybe it did feel close to home.
Yeah.
But
such a brilliant movie.
The book, the story book itself,
the kid,
was one of the most effective props I think I've ever seen in a horror movie. Like for a book, just what is essentially just a book, to make me like
Petrified.
I was petrified of every page that she turned.
Yeah, how good
And
was
that's incredibly effective.
So yeah, just for a quick intro to what the movie is, it's a single mother who lives with her son, and they're dealing with day to day, which is quite hard. And he finds this book and brings it home, and it's called The Babadook. And if it's sort of on the elements, if you read it, or if you bring it into your house, that's it. It invokes the Babadook, and he comes to your house.
What a great,
which is sort of it's a very much a boogeyman type feel.
Yeah, do you know what's funny? It's
so
like
good.
it's such a fine line between the Babadook, which is a pretty effective name, to something like the Bye Bye Man, which
that's a movie. Yeah,
that is a movie,
that is
which
a movie.
is a hideously
Sorry,
bad.
I thought you were making that up.
No, but that's what I mean. Like Babadook sounds like just gibberish, but it's effective for
very
some reason.
effective.
Bye Bye Man just makes you giggle because it's like, what a fucking stupid name.
Yeah.
It's funny how how the fine line between what is something you'd laugh at and what is something that actually kind of is a little bit effective.
Yeah.
Please, I will
please
eventually watch the second half of it. I've
Tys is gonna
heard
watch it.
fantastic things about it, and
He's
I
gonna watch it
kind of know what happens
midday,
anyway.
in the daylight, all the blinds open.
Do you know
with
what
a
it
lot of
was?
people in the house.
I need people in the house because
Yeah.
you almost described how I watched it, except I was alone, and it wasn't that. It was during the day.
It was during the day.
It was during the day.
Oh,
I was
Tys.
alone.
Yep.
That was the thing that got me the most.
It was
like
alone.
I was
Yeah.
alone, and I was like, I need
Yeah.
someone else here with me.
Yeah.
'Cause
It takes
by
the edge
myself,
off. It takes the edge off.
Just couldn't handle it.
It's full on.
Could not handle it.
Please watch it, people. If you're up for something scary and an Australian gem, Babadook is your pick.
Well, there you go.
Netflix.
Cool.
All yours, Tys.
Well, I'm gonna jump on back to SBS On Demand today.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a really effective, really cool little app that you can just get on your phone or your iPad.
Hell yeah.
We are not in any way sponsored by SBS. I'm just saying,
we're not.
I need to make
We'll
this
get
clear.
to sponsors later. Season 3, I'm guessing.
I'm just exactly.
Yeah.
I like, I've basically filled my phone up with all these apps because I like watching whatever I can, and I've found SBS On Demand to be pretty cool, and its choices are kind of eclectic but
Nice and
excellent.
varied.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they've got a
cool.
lot going on there. I don't know how long it's been on there, but I've just discovered that they have Synecdoche, New York.
Oh,
on
shit.
there,
Really?
which is an incredible
Still
film.
haven't seen
Charlie Kaufman directorial film. I don't know if it's his, not his only film. It might be one of his. I think he's got one other, maybe. I'll have to double check that. It is.
Who directed adaptation?
No, he didn't. I don't think he directed it.
No?
I think Spike Jones direct adaptation.
Short musical interlude.
Dun,
Dun.
dun, 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 dun. Here we go. Okay, so that's he's written a fuck ton of those Spike Jones films, all the ones that you love.
Yep.
Yeah, no, Synecdoche, New York was his first directed movie.
Is that how you say it? Synecdoche.
Synecdoche. Yeah.
Right. I never knew how to say it.
And he also directed Anomalisa from last year or the year before,
Right.
which was the animated film with puppets. Which was apparently really well received. I don't know why I haven't seen it, because I've loved every single thing he's got his name anywhere near, so I really should just get on that and watch it. I mean, this is the guy that wrote Being John Malkovich, Adaptation, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Even that little run
Just that.
is
Just that on its
is
own.
amazing. And so that was between kind of 99 to 2004-ish. What a streak
And
of
he's still
writing.
He's still writing.
So this film is a bizarre but beautiful kind of exploration of...
Is it really long? I heard it's really
it's
long.
not super long. I think it's 2 and a bit hours.
2 hours.
It feels long because so much happens.
Right.
Like it's one of those movies that just, it feels like it's kind of trying to capture a whole life. The story itself, it's got a kind of basic premise. It's just about a guy who is a director, a theater director, and theater writer, I believe, and he wants to. He's kind of experimental. He likes to do different things. He wants to emulate real life. So he basically hires this space and where he's going to just build life, and he's going to hire actors just to be alive and just let it happen.
Right.
And it's the catalyst for super Charlie Kaufman-esque craziness once from that. So you can imagine that we're already kind of dealing with meta-ish things based on that concept.
Yep.
So add into the mix that as a character he's a hypochondriac. He can't hold a marriage. He's very he's a really troubled artist, like you use that term it sounds a bit wanky, but he's kind of the epitome of that, the real kind of
the ones that
psychological
damage
because they want to express so much.
But they're on another level.
They are on another level. Yeah. And of course, it goes bonkers from there once suddenly he starts hiring people to play himself, and then someone to play the person playing himself, and then drawing the line between what is the art and what is real life becomes very sketchy, and the set itself becomes as big as a city. And are these people still actors, or now
what's
because
going on?
When no one's watching them, is it still a performance? And it becomes very, very deep. And I couldn't tell you if I fully understood it when I watched it. I would say 3/4 of it went over my head, because it is that kind of film where it's just so dense. There is so much going on.
Watchings.
You need multiple views, and I need far smarter people than me to sit me down and talk about what it's referencing, and it's techniques.
Something
and
you
things.
could write a thesis on.
Oh, easily. There is so much going on in this film. But even on a surface value, look, it's great. And I find that's kind of Kaufman. You leave his films feeling
like Eternal Sunshine,
really
just
beautiful.
Opened some doors.
But it's such a. It's while they're so expansive and they say so much, they also kind of are really small and intimate, and really. He uses these incredibly grand statements to just say the most simple, beautiful things. Yeah. And that's what I love. Because you come away, you feel smarter after watching his films, because they are so intelligently written that you can't help but feel smarter, because you're surrounded by that. It's like, oh my God, I want every movie to be this smart, this well articulated.
This well written.
Yeah. It's a beautiful kind of, he's the kind of guy that, you watch every one of his films that you watch. You're not
disappointed. Like just like you said, like Adaptation, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, Eternal Sunshine. Those are some beautifully written films.
Anyway, this is easily his most ambitious of all those. Like I said, I don't even know if I got 3/4 of it, but I'd watch it again.
Cool.
Anytime. And, just be prepared for a head fuck. But if you're willing to go with it and just kind of let it wash over you, I think you can find some really wonderful things.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
And look,
who else? There's tons in it.
God, I'm blanking. Michelle Williams is in it.
Yeah.
Who is the Emily Watson? No, I think I might be making that up.
Catherine Keener. I love
Catherine Keener. Yeah, she pops up.
People are in it. Oh, Samantha Morton.
Samantha Morton. That's who I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Not Emily Watson.
Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Also, a really great performance by a bit of a favorite of mine, Tom Noonan. Does really cool work.
Tom Noonan
in this.
Yeah.
I really like what he's got going on.
He's always Last Action Hero to me.
Yeah, that's fine, man. Last Action Hero, he's killer in that. He's fucking terrifying.
Scary. One of the best bad guys that just isn't used at all.
Yeah, he's a bit wasted in that.
He's wasted.
Well, because you've got what's his name? Charles Dance.
Yeah, I know.
He goes all right.
Charles Dance. Yeah, totally.
Yes, my name is Charles Dance. How are you?
How are you going?
Right. So give that a watch. That's
SBS
it for this week.
That is it.
Next week, we've got something exciting for you.
We got something different.
So some of our shows are going to kind of fit into certain certain categories, I guess you can call them. And
That's
we're going to
true.
give them names. So far we've just kind of been chatting about movies at random.
Yep. Because we've only just started off season 1.
Yeah.
You know, you want to warm to your audience.
That's it. And like what we just said before, one of those is going to be a scaring the shit out of Tyson episode.
It. If you can find the better name for that, people, please
Yes, of
email
course.
it to us.
Yes.
How good that scared the shit out of Tys. I love it.
But that's fine. That works.
Yeah.
But one of the other ones we're going to do, what was the name, Nick? We came up with a really great name.
Oh.
It's on my list.
Oh, it's on my list.
Which
Sorry.
it's on my
I
list are going to be episodes about those movies that we really should have watched by now. And
We really should
haven't.
have. Yeah, it's on the list. It's been on the list. And now, Tys, that we're 30,
Yeah.
you know, we
Yeah,
need
we
to,
need to
we need
just
to have
accept
watched
it
them.
and watch this film.
Yeah.
So
Instead of going out
these are going to be the
seeing
kind of movies that when you hear that we neither of us have seen them, you will wonder how
the
it's
fuck?
fucking possible that we haven't seen these films.
Exactly, yep.
Because sometimes you just
never get
They're
around
on my
to
list.
it. It's on my list.
It's on my
the
list. It's on my list, man.
It's on the list.
it's on my list.
I'll get there. Shit.
So next week we're going to be watching Richard Curtis's, I believe. Richard Curtis, 4 Weddings and a Funeral, man.
Which both Tys and
Never
I
seen
have
it.
never seen.
How have I missed this movie?
I
How have
don't
I never
know.
seen this movie?
I've never seen it.
Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant.
How have I missed the birth of popular Hugh Grant?
Exactly. 4 Weddings and a Funeral,
So,
1994.
yeah.
Andy McDowell.
Andy McDowell. I like Andy McDowell.
I like Andy McDowell.
So-
I didn't used to, but I do.
Yeah.
Actually, hang on a minute. No, I'm thinking of someone else.
No,
I
it's
don't like-
Andy McDowell. It's definitely Andy McDowell. in
No, it
4
is
Weddings
Andy
and a Funeral.
McDowell.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of. I don't like Andy McDowell.
Oh,
I'm thinking of who's in
Minnie Driver.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Minnie Driver.
Yeah, no, they're pretty similar.
No, fuck
because
off,
of the
Andy
curly
McDowell.
brown hair.
I don't like.
No, she's
Andy
alright.
McDowell.
Um,
She sucks. She's the only thing shit about.
What?
I'm kidding.
In which one?
She's the only thing shit about Groundhog Day, Tys.
Oh, no. She's wonderful in Groundhog
No,
Day.
she's all right. She's all right. I don't mind her. She's okay.
She's alright, I guess.
She's all right. Okay.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're super
4
excited.
Weddings.
Oh my God, I can't believe we haven't seen this movie. It's going to be
I know.
great. So we're going to be talking about
Mike
that next
Newell.
week.
Okay, this is just got really intense.
So, okay, what? Yeah, Mike Newell directed or
Mike
wrote
Newell directed. Richard Curtis, you were right,
it?
wrote it.
Wrote it. Okay.
Yeah. So Mike Newell. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Harry Potter fame.
That's it. Harry Potter's own.
Yeah.
He's the one that only directed like one of the bad ones. Though.
Yeah, Goblet of Fire.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
it's-
No, what was he? No, come on, Mike Newell. We know him for stuff. We'll get to that next week.
Next week, I'm so excited. So until then, you know where you can find us: Facebook, iTunes, Twitter.
We're not going to run them
Gmail.
down because you know where
Get
we
on
are.
'em, rate and
Tell
review
your
us.
friends.
Tell your friends.
Tell your
share
mum.
us around. We look forward to seeing you next week.
Thanks, gang.
Thanks, guys. I'll see you later. Oh, this before we go, we've got to do our quick shout outs. Thanks to Jack D for our artwork.
That's true.
Thanks to Zach for our
Cousin Zach for
killer
our intro.
theme. Shout out to a friend of the podcast, Ridden. We'll get to your question
We'll
next
get to
week
your
in
question.
Mailbag.
We will.
Yeah, well, I'll see you next week, man.
See you next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye, Tys.
Bye.
Bye.